So expanding on my further talk about creativity, thanks for all the positive feedback, really welcomed. So to me, the enemy of creativity is self-doubt, anxiety and fear of producing work. When this gets in, am I good enough? Will people like it? It stops us producing extraordinary work. It stops us actually starting. It stops us opening up new avenues to produce creativity. The fear gets in, the self-doubt, am I good enough? The blocks and the barriers to starting a project and then finishing the project. There's a lot of psychology involved in creativity. Am I going to be good enough, for example? So that big barrier, self-doubt, anxiety, destroys our ability to open ourselves up to produce work. And we don't know what the finished product is going to be, but we have to start it. And often we fear other people's opinions or views on our work. When I wrote my novel, I started 4 years ago. It took me about 3 years to write. I was full of self-doubt, fear, lacking confidence. Am I good enough? Is my grammar okay? Will people like it? Will people laugh at me? Should I even be bothering? And that really held me back. But I worked through it and I overcome it. The other point is, sometimes we feel like, do I have a right to produce it? Am I okay talking about this subject or creating work around certain subjects? A lot of my work is social or political. I want to take a specific topic like race or sexuality, or just make an aesthetic that maybe is making a statement. Maybe it's just, it's a nice image on a wall. But we all have a right to produce the work that we want to produce. We don't need permission. We don't need validation. We don't need approval from somebody to be an artist. We can just create the work. And often we have to start. If you look at the studios of Jackson Pollock or Francis Bacon, they're crazy, chaotic, messy places, but they're not inhibited by the first draft and getting it perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. There's just the work. And you have to open up your heart and your soul and let it come from within to produce. And that way, new avenues, new roads, new windows, new doors that weren't there, they were just invisible, make themselves appear. And we travel on these new roads. It's like the mist of a mountain lifts and all of a sudden you can see, oh, there's a pathway to the top. But it doesn't come unless you start it, and you have to get rid of the self-doubt, get rid of the anxiety, get rid of the fear and all that horrible stuff, and just open yourself up and produce. It's subjective. People may never read my book. People might not like my work, my prints, my t-shirts, my novel. But I'm going to make it anyway because I have a right to. It's human. I'm trying to make a statement. I hope people like it, but I won't let it stop me producing the work. Creativity is vital to society. It's vital to humanity. It's good for our mental health just to produce. And you may just make something that appeals to somebody, that makes a difference to somebody, that empowers somebody, inspires somebody, motivates somebody. Who knows? It may not happen. You may impact a whole society. You may impact a community. You may become world famous, maybe not. But the point is, as an artist, as creativity, it's important for you and it's important for society that we challenge the status quo, the paradigms of existence, the corporate structures, the religious, the institutions that govern us, and think, is this okay? Is this right? Do I feel something? And not worry about other people's opinion, not worry about self-doubt. Just produce, make it, work on the draft, edit it, produce a painting, a photograph. And if you're comfortable with it, if you feel like, put it out there. You've got to be vulnerable. You've got to be vulnerable. And from that vulnerability becomes the power, becomes the strength. And that's what artists do. Okay, more TikToks, more videos later on this subject of creativity. Okay, like if you like, comment if you will. I'll see you next time.